Now here's suspect again. Capricorn can lie too. They're good actors.
Welcome. Yeah, solutions. Garvey Theater Thursdays.
And African communities lead of the world. You may ask, fellow citizens of Africa, I greet you in the name of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African communities lead of the world. You may ask, what organization is that? It is for me to inform you that the Universal Negro Improvement Association is an organization that seeks to unite into one solid body the 400 million Negroes of the world, to link up the 15 million Negroes of the United States of America with the 20 million Negroes of the West Indies, the 40 million Negroes of South and Central America, with the 280 million Negroes of Africa, for the purpose of bettering our industrial, commercial, educational, social, and political conditions. As you are aware, the world in which we live today is divided into separate race groups and distinct nationalities. Each race and each nationality is endeavoring to work out its own destiny to the exclusion of other races and other nationalities. We hear the cry of England for the Englishman, of France for the Frenchman, of Germany for the German, of Ireland for the Irish, of Palestine for the Jew, of Japan for the Japanese, of China for the Chinese. We of the Universal Negro Improvement Association are raising the cry of Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad. There are 400 million Africans in the world who have Negro blood coursing through their veins. And we believe that the time has come to unite these 400 million people for the one common purpose of bettering their conditions. The great problem of the Negro for the last 500 years has been that of disunity. No one or no organization ever succeeded in uniting the Negro race. But within the last 4 years, the Universal Negro Improvement Association has worked wonders in bringing together in one fold 4 million organized Negroes who are scattered in all parts of the world, being in the 48 states of the American Union, all the West Indian Islands, and the countries of South and Central America and Africa. These 4 million people are working to convert the rest of the 400 million scattered all over the world. And it is for this purpose that we are asking you to join our ranks and to do the best you can to help us to bring about an emancipated race. If anything praiseworthy is to be done, it must be done through unity. And it is for that reason that the Universal Negro Improvement Association calls upon every Negro in the United States to rally to its standards. We want to unite the Negro race in this country. We want every Negro to work for one common object, that of building a nation of his own on the great continent of Africa. That all Negroes all over the world are working for the establishment of a government in Africa means that it will be realized in another few years. We want the moral and financial support of every Negro to make the dream a possibility. Already, this organization has established itself in Nigeria, West Africa, and is endeavoring to do all possible to develop that Negro country to become a great industrial and commercial commonwealth. Pioneers have been sent by this organization to Nigeria, and they are now laying the foundations upon which the 400 million Negroes of the world will build. If you believe that the Negro has a soul, if you believe that the Negro is a man, if you believe the Negro was endowed with the senses commonly given to other men by the Creator, then you must acknowledge that what other men have done, Negroes can do. We want to build up cities, nations, governments, industries of our own in Africa, so that we'll be able to have a chance to rise from the lowest to the highest positions in the African Commonwealth.
Welcome, everybody. Come on into the room. Welcome to Garvey Theater Thursdays. I'm your moderator and your host and your instructor, Arnold Penix. And my union name is A. Gregory Harris. But for those who are interested in participating in this project and this Zoom meeting, I definitely want you to come on into the room and learn about the different aspects of theater training. Garvey Studios Talent Development Workshop is dedicated and committed to making sure that you are trained properly. So it's more to it than just reading lines in a play or learning your lines. A lot of people feel like that if they learn their lines, they can do the work. Most of the times when you see church plays or amateur plays, the lines are learned perfectly, but there's no inflection, there's no interpretation of the character, because people don't understand the character, they understand how to memorize lines. And so what we're going to do is start off this time is to go with the history. My history, I studied professional theater at North Carolina A&T State University. I was taken off the stage of North Carolina A&T State University and toured with a company called MP Amos Productions, which is the late John Amos, who played the father on Good Times, and also he was very known for Coming to America, amongst a lot of other films during that era. I was a diligent, to be an actor or to be anyone in the entertainment industry, you have to totally believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then who will? And I, as a student, and even as a high school student, I was always gave 110% for what I wanted to do. So I suggest that if you are a young actor and you want to pursue it, always do as much as you can and never take no for an answer. And if you can't find anything to be a part of, then produce it and create it yourself. I'm a testament to that. I wrote letters to the Negro Ensemble Company when I was a student getting ready to go and graduate and leave A&T to go to New York to seek fame and fortune and to be a Broadway actor. So I felt preparation was the key, and so how I did it, I'm going to share with you. So that way, maybe you may find it useful in your trek to the big city. I sent out letters at that time to the Negro Ensemble Company, and just letting them know that I was very interested. It was founded by Douglas Turner Ward and Robert Hooks. And while we're talking about that, let's go to the website of the Negro Ensemble Company, so that way people can understand as I talk about it, they see a visual of as we go through the site. And I was at the same time seeking to be a part of the NBC team for Reverend Jesse Jackson's appearance as a host on Saturday Night Live. And it's so interesting because I created this comedy company called the Comedy Construction Company. And the Comedy Construction Company was the forerunner to In Living Color, believe that or not. We had, it was a very popular movie at the time called The Officer and the Gentleman, which starred Louis Gossett Jr., who was also an Oscar winner for that role. And I took on the persona of the sergeant, and I had a team of construction workers. And what we construct? We would construct the laughter. And I had a diverse cast, a redhead, a blonde, a soul sister, a brunette, and a funny comedian who went on to become Mr. A&T, Dwight Smith, and star in the award-winning film short, The Adventures of Pigman and Possum, which I starred in as Pigman. And but we were both employees at NBC. So how did I get there? Well, I got there by being diligent. And so that story tells how I became the spook that's said by the sitcom door. But this is the story of how I became the #1 subscription salesman at the Negro Ensemble Company on West 4th, Theater 54, and in the heart of Times Square at West 46th Street, the Actors Equity Building. So I remember calling Douglas Turner Ward and telling him that I had made it to New York City, and I was in the studio 8H, the number 8, there we go again, studio 8H, and I had finally made it to New York, and they said, "Oh no, Arnold's here." So I had already prepped myself. So basically, what I'm saying to you, you can do anything you want to do if you really have a passion for it. And at that time, that's when I met LaTanya Richardson, who is Mrs. Samuel L. Jackson. And I would see LaTanya Richardson, and she befriended me, not knowing that her husband, her boyfriend at the time, and they grew up in Atlanta, and she went to Spelman, he went to Morehouse. They studied theater, and the ironic thing about it, I did not know at the time that Samuel L. Jackson was the soulmate to March 5th, which is my mother's birthday, I'm the soulmate to her. So basically, she picked up on my energy, me being born July 11th. So I say all this to set it up how the energy of your birth can play a part in your evolution and your come up, as they say. So next thing you know, I'm working at the Negro Ensemble Company selling season subscriptions. And one of the plays was A Soldier Story, which starred a young Denzel Washington and a young Samuel L. Jackson. And I became the top subscription salesman in the subscription pool. So I say that to say, whatever job or whatever task they give you to do, be the best at it. And that comes from even Martin Luther King's speech, which ironically was the play that I wrote at the writer's workshop under Leslie Lee at the Negro Ensemble Company on 46th Street and 7th Avenue in New York City. And as we go through the site, I'm just going to be running the rhetoric. So you can look at the history, and as our technician is going to show you all the different pages of the site as I talk about this. And what's so ironic about it now that I went on to win the Lorraine Hansberry Award, the Kennedy Center Award for Best Play about a play that I started at the Negro Ensemble Company Writers Workshop. So even though you're here at the Garvey Studios Talent Development Workshop, I also attended a workshop for young writers. And I'll never forget it. I was a writer, I was a mail clerk. After my guest appearance on Saturday Night Live, they tried to get rid of me, and I didn't go. And I said, I'm telling you, I'm not going. So I applied for a job in the NBC mailroom. And Tina Watson, wherever you are, I love you dearly, because I was living on the Lower East Side between A, B, and C, a seven floor walk up. I had to walk to get to the apartment that I had worked out by being a student at A&T, and I had gotten there with the hopes of connecting, and I had a whole support group, a whole support team. Anthony, if you can hear me, and they will find you with this piece. I thank you for taking a young, energetic neophyte like Arnold Penix and allowing him to live at your home and live in your apartment on the Lower East Side. But be that as it may, I got a job at the NBC mailroom thanks to Tina Watson. I'll never forget, I just knew when I went in for the interview that I was going to get the job as a mail clerk. Because once you do television, everybody, and once you get on the show, then, they send you back. You're a guest and you don't, have a job. So, but I made sure I had a job. And what was the job? Selling subscriptions at the Negro Ensemble Company. And I became the best. And to the point that people who bought the subscriptions, they say, well, we want to see Arnold. Where's Arnold? And they said, well, and so the head of the pool of subscription sales people, Portia Howard, who was the marketing director at the Negro Ensemble Company, and she said, Arnold, the people want to see you. So Douglas said, well, bring him down to the theater. So get in where you fit in is what I'm saying. That's why I'm telling you this story. And so I go down to Theater 4 on 54th Street, and the play they were doing was called A Soldier Story. And it was written by Charles Fuller. Now, ironic thing about Charles Fuller, he wrote the award-winning play and a few other plays, but Charles Fuller was also born on March 5th, which is my mother's birthday, okay? So not knowing the power of numerology and the power of the planets and all of that, I was able to connect with the play right off because it was like I wrote it, like I knew it. And but then you look up on the stage and you see a young Denzel Washington playing the iconic Malcolm X type character. Then you see Samuel Jackson and you see Charles Brown, who is the lead, and later on the role was taken over by the actor who played in Ragtime and Heat of the Night. His name escapes me right now. But anyway, he did the role in the film, but Charles Brown did the role on stage, and this is the theater program. So I was able to see that, and I was able to connect with LaTanya Richardson, Mrs. Sam Jackson, and I was able to. But one thing about Sam, he was always, you're like, well, who are you, and everything like that. But he was being who he is, a Sagittarius, and wanting to know. But they all knew how I got to New York because I came through the political aspect. I came through Reverend Jackson, and that's how I joined. That's why I joined the National Action Network and became the director of arts and culture for Reverend Al Sharpton. But because of Jesse Jackson, I didn't have to go the route that most actors talk about, like the casting couch and the whole compromising yourself to get a role or a part in the theater or in film or in music. I was protected by the fact that I was a performing activist. I was woke, y'all, even then. And when I met Ralph Carter, who played Michael on Good Times, I made him my honorary chairman for the Black Sitcom Institute. But that's part of the Takeover Tuesdays. But the theater component is that I was able to study at the Negro Ensemble Company and eventually star in a Negro Ensemble Company produced play called God's Trombones. Okay, and you can go to the Garvey Studios Talent channel and see clips from the God's Trombones, the NEC production, in which I starred in. I did 7 sermons playing 7 different types of characters for God's Trombones by James Weldon Johnson. But also in the interim, I became the director of the traveling theater company for the Negro Ensemble Company. And what did I do with that? I took concepts that would work for children, just like I'm doing here at the Kemet Club, the Black Achievement Fund, and I created touring productions for public schools. Now, you get a contract. This is how you learn how to eat as an actor. And, if you join a traveling theater company that produces productions for children. So that was a whole untapped market, and they needed a director to take that over. And so years later, after I left NEC, I came back and became the director of the traveling theater company for the Negro Ensemble Company. And we toured all throughout the 5 boroughs of New York City, doing productions that I created: African Kings and Queens, Love is Tough, I'm a dealer, not a squealer on the black fast money. When I spit, I keep it realer on the black fast money. Now I'm bagging up the hash, keep it coming with the cash. FASTIMANE, that's why I need more ice on me. So they don't think I can, God has given me a gift, and I'm able to do that. And so that's Fast Money, and that was a big hit in the public schools and at the high schools, man, Fast Money. And when all the kids were going, Fast Money, because I was treating, and the characters were named Crash and Burn. So Crash and Burn, here comes the man with the cash, Crash, okay? And what happens, Love is Tough was a hip opera. And that people were coming all over to see Love is Tough at the Negro Ensemble Company, written by yours truly and put together by and starred Bonamala and a young man whose names escape me, but like I said, but he was wonderful. But he was born, the birthday I won't forget, he was born July 24th. And we have someone who's part of our team who also shares that same birthday. So that's what's happening with the productions. So you can go to Garvey Studios Talent Development and see that. Now at this time, before we go into our training, I want you to know, look up the Negro Ensemble Company, become a part of it. They teach courses and workshops, and I totally recommend them. I did the summer workshop, NEC Classics, and that's why this is the book, the text that I taught from, NEC Classics. Okay, and all of these, you have Shakespeare, which is another thing because Shakespeare was actually written by a black woman, but we're not going to go into that right now, but we're going to definitely let you know how our culture was definitely utilized by the different types of cultures and different types of people who did not have the skills and the talent. So what I'm looking for is actors to play African kings and queens, black inventors, but you have to get your training, and I teach the Astro Method. The Astro Method is astrology method, and we're going to watch some scenes right now from some actors who from the theater. And the show is called Fences. The original cast was James L. Jones and Courtney B. Vance, and of course Viola played the role in the revival. But we're going to watch James L. Jones and Courtney B. Vance, and then I'm going to talk about their birthdays and how the chemistry came across. And that's why the astro acting method is actually used for casting, whether you know it or not. Let's watch Fences by August Wilson.
Can I ask you a question?
What the hell you want to ask me? Mr. Wiki is the one you got the questions for.
How come you ain't never liked me?
Like we can, yeah.
Like you. Who in the hell
Trying
ever
to
said,
get
I got to like you? What law is there to say, I got to like you? Do you want to stand up in my face and ask me some damn fool-ass question like that? Talk about liking somebody. Come here, boy, when I talk to you. Straighten up, goddammit. Ask your question. What law is there to say, I got to like you?
None.
All right, then. Don't you eat every day? Answer me when I talk to you. Don't you eat every day?
Yeah.
Nigga, as long as you living in my house, you put a sir on the end of it when you talk to me.
Yes, sir.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
And clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why do you think that is?
Because of you.
Hell, I know it's because of me. Why do you think that is?
Because you like me.
Like you. I go out of here every morning and bust my butt putting up with them crackers all day long because I like you. You is the biggest fool I ever saw. It is my job. It is my responsibility. You understand that? A man got to take care of his family. You live in my house. You sleep your behind on my bedclothes. You put my food in your belly because you are my son. You are my flesh and blood, not because I like you. It is my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you. Wait now. Let's get this straight right now. We'll go along any further. I ain't got to like you. Mr. Rand, don't give me my money come payday because he liked me. He give me because he owe me. Now, I didn't give you everything I had to give you. I gave you your life. Your mama and me worked it out between us. And liking your black ass was not a part of the bargain, and don't you try and go through life worried if somebody like you or not. You best make sure that they are doing right by you. You understand what I'm saying, boy?
Yes, sir.
Then you get the hell out of my face and go on down under A&P.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. And the ironic thing about it, I saw this on Broadway. I was definitely so excited when Mary Alice played the role that Viola revived. And Mary Alice was an acquaintance of mine. She was a member of the Negro Ensemble Company, Mary Alice. And I was so excited to see this play because it won the Pulitzer Prize. August Wilson put August Wilson on the map as a playwright. And to see this live, ladies and gentlemen, and BAF members, I can't explain the exhilaration that I felt, because I could say, that's me up there, that's me up there. I could see myself, I could see our images and our characterizations, and that's a very powerful scene. And what makes it so interesting that James Earl Jones was born on January 17th, 1931. Now, his father was an actor as well, James Earl Jones Sr., and he became a movie actor, his father, and then he birthed this son who became an iconic stage actor from Claudine, The Great White Hope. He got an Oscar nomination for that. But he's also born a Capricorn, born on the 17th. 1 and 7 is the number 8. So he was destined for a successful career, very financially stable. But with number 8, what goes around comes around, okay? So he dealt with a high prosperity, then maybe he had some low times and high times. But that's the number 8. What goes around comes around. So people born on the number 8, they have to realize that if you create some negative karma, it's going to come right back at you. Come right back at you. Courtney B. Vance, the one who played his son, is a Pisces. He had that meekness, that softness, that watery quality that he exudes. James Earl Jones, a Capricorn, that's Daddy Cap. You saw the father character. You saw that. You saw how strong he was as a father, saying, I ain't got to like you. That was straight Capricorn. You hear what I'm saying? You know, not the Cancerians, the nurturer, and the water people like Pisces. He said, don't you like me? He said, I ain't got to like you. Okay? Capricorn energy, Piscean energy, which made him ask, what made him ask him? Because he's born on March 12th. 1 and 2 as up to the number 3, which is ruled by the planet Jupiter, which rules Sagittarius. So he had the nerve to come and not do what his father say do, okay? That's what people with Sagittarian energy, he told him in the play that he could not play football. He had to work at the A&P, okay? A&P, how interesting. A&P, my name is Arnold Penix, A-P. So I said I wanted to own an A&P when I grew up, and a 7-Eleven, go figure. But anyway, he did not do what his father said. His mother leaked it, and she found out that he was furious. Because if you don't do what Capricorn say, and the people in authority, they lose it. Okay? Playing football, you need to keep that job and going down to the A&P and get your job back. Okay? And then he's like, well, you don't like me, and they're gonna try to throw that water sign stuff, the emotional, you don't like me, you don't want, with the tear in the voice and all that. And Pisces can cry at the drop of a hat. They are the biggest con artists I've ever seen in my life. They can make you feel anything they want you to feel. And that's the truth. No shade on nobody. I'm just letting you know they have all of the traits of every zodiac sign in the lineup. So they can pull from it, and that's why they become so great on the stage in movies. Sidney Poitier was a Piscean, and he was able to flow in any circle and be with any group of people throughout his career. This actor, Courtney B. Vance, got him and his wife both went to Yale School of Drama. So he was able to get this role by being a student at Yale School of Drama, because they workshopped the play Fences at Yale School of Drama under the direction of Lord Williams, who was a major black director during that time. Okay? So that's the breakdown on them. So that's how they was cast. Capricorn, that's why James Earl Jones got a Tony for it. It's gonna bring you another Capricorn who also played the role. So that's Denzel Washington and Viola Davis in this other scene and everything. So, and Denzel also won a Tony as well. And so the casting with the planets is very, very serious, workshoppers. Okay, so that's how people get cast. Let's go. Let's see this thing.
I'm the best I can to explain it to you. It's not easy to admit that I've been standing in the same place for 18 years. Well, I've been standing with you. I've been right here with you, Troy. I got a life too. I gave 18 years of my life to stand in the same spot as you. Don't you think I ever wanted other things? Don't you think I had dreams and hopes? What about my life? What about me? Don't you think it ever crossed my mind to want to know other men? That I want to lay up somewhere and forget about my responsibilities? That I wanted someone to make me laugh so I could feel good? You're not the only one who's got wants and needs. But help on you, Troy. I took all my feelings, my wants and needs, my dreams, and I buried them inside you. I planted a seed and watched and prayed over it. I planted myself inside you and waited to bloom. It didn't take me no 18 years to realize the soil was hard and rocky and it was never gonna bloom. But I held on to you, Troy. I held you tighter. You was my husband. I owed you everything I had, every part of me I could find to give you. And upstairs in that room with the darkness falling in on me, I gave everything I had to try and erase the doubt that you wasn't the finest man in the world, and wherever you was going, I was gonna be there with you because you was my husband. Because that's the only way I was gonna survive as your wife. You're always talking about what you give and what you don't have to give. But you take too. You take and don't even know nobody's giving.
You say I take and don't give?
Troy, you're hurting me.
You say I take and don't give?
Troy, you hurt my
I
arm
don't
like
give you everything I got.
Troy.
Don't you tell that lie on me. Don't you tell that lie on me. Don't you tell me about no taking and...
Troy, no. Troy, no. Please, Troy.
All right, see? That's strike two. You stay away from around me, boy. You living with a full count. That's strike two. Don't you strike out.
And scene. He said, living with a 4 count too. Don't you strike out. What does that come from? His character. This man was a Negro League baseball player who was too old to go to the major league. So he became a sanitation worker. Okay, that's the character of Troy. All right. So you saw Viola Davis born August 11th. All right. The 11, what we have to worry about, is, I'm born on 7/11. We have to worry about controlling our emotion. But see how it works for her as an actress? She's able to utilize all of that emotion that we have to, as men, stifle. Like, I can't be as emotional as her with people in everyday life. So I have to control my emotions. Because when men become emotional, like her character became emotional, they become dangerous. Like the Columbine shooter, he was 11, a master 11. And also these kids that go around and do all this heinous stuff and hurt people, that's because of their emotions are not in control. And that happens a lot of times when young men are not raised or don't see the balance of a male energy in the household. So this is the argument that a lot of people are saying, because with women raising boys, sometimes they become a little bit more imbalanced with observing her emotional outbursts, all right? So that's where they come from. So men are always taught not to show their emotions, not to cry, not to show their feelings, but there is a balance you have it. So one thing I loved about being an artist is that I was able to take my emotional side and have an emotional range from A to Z. And that's what you have to be an artist, and to be a craftsman and a craftswoman, as they say. To learn your craft, you have to have an emotional range from A to Z. And that's what happened with Viola Davis. And she also won the Tony, and a scalper sold me tickets to that play. I saw that on stage too. And it was kind of like deja vu to see James L. Jones first and then see Denzel play the role. And the ironic thing about it, which is not a coincidence, Denzel is born December 28th, which 2 and 8, which is 28, is a very powerful number as far as prosperity is concerned. And so he was able to win the role and also have the same attributes as James L. Jones, both are Capricorn actors. So he was able to play the fatherhood role to the hilt because of the zodiac sign of Capricorn, which is, I always call them daddy cat. Even the women are very masculine, as we saw with the First Lady, Michelle Obama, who's also born on the 17th as well as James L. Jones. So when you see that Michelle Obama and James L. Jones share the same birthday, then you go like, oh, okay, what's going on? They're both 8s. I say she rose to fame. She was born on the south side of Chicago, first black first lady, and she went on to get her law degree, and the rest is history. She groomed and created a president of the United States who was reared from another culture, and who did have a strong inclination that he needed to get back with his roots. And he got the darkest sister on the yard. He didn't come with no high yellow. He came in and got what he needed to get himself grounded once again. So that happens with that situation. And so those are the both 2 scenes that I showed you guys today to see how the planets align for casting. So even if you don't know anything else about the other zodiac signs, know yourself. To thine own self be true, my director would always tell me. Know thyself. So what you need to study now is get yourself in line with all the energies that are part of your makeup. And that's from studying astrology or getting the birthday book, which I have right here, which I definitely, you can go right to Barnes and Nobles or go online and get it. You know, it's nothing, I'm not some guru that it comes from my head. I study just like everyone else to get what I need to have happen. So now it's time for you to get yourself warmed up, and we're going to bring in I call him the Zen person of the Kimmy Club, and that is King Julian, who's going to use our ancestry to get us moving and breathing properly, because that's important to me, because the whole concept of the African drum and the whole movement of our culture, because theater started in Africa. All right, and not the Greek theater. The Greeks, everything and all the phallic symbols that they use in the classic Greek theater, but it eventually started as a ritual in Africa, and the drum played a major part of that ritual, and the witch doctor was the star, and all of the natives and tribes, men and women, were able to express and tell the story and keep our history alive through storytelling, which is theater. All right?
Ashe, ashe. Thank you, thank you. Man, what a great intro we've been having. This has been an amazing Garvey Theater Thursdays. We're learning a lot, aren't we? This is so amazing. And I'm so glad to be able to bring it all together. And this is called a holistic practice. So I'd love for you all to start out. We have God-like energy inside of us. As you see, we always play Marcus Garvey at the beginning. So we want to embrace this God-like energy. And this time, I want to go ahead and start. We're going to blend in some of the words and also our energy from the drum and also the breath. So the big way that you can do that is by the Om sound. So some of them, sometimes you'll see it as O-H-M, because that's kind of how it sounds when you say it, Om. But you'll also see A-U-M. So with A-U-M, there's also the Aum. Okay, so now you're encapsulating more vibrations going through the body. So I actually just learned this with the sky breathing, the Skywork program that I got to go through last weekend with our travel and lifestyle club. So the big way that you're gonna do this is by saying, and so while you do this, go ahead and see where the vibrations are in your body, okay? So let's go. Breathe in. And breathe in. Right? How does that feel? So, were there certain times where you could feel in your body where it was like certain locations where you go and you kind of feel it right here, and sometimes I feel it a little bit lower, but then once I get into the it's like real in the middle of my spine, and it's like it's vibrating there, and then you go. Even to close your mouth into the you still have to go through the ooh. So I never knew that before last weekend. So it's the ooh. So the ooh, I hear that in my throat. You know, I really feel that in my throat.
It's a great warm-up exercise because your body is your instrument. And just like you have a violinist, a drum instrument, the actor, as you saw in the scenes, use their instrument, their body. And you have to warm it up. You have to be able to, for her to go in that emotional range that she went in, for him to go in his emotional range, you could pass out if you don't do some type of preparation.
Right, and there's certain principles that these vibrations are on. Just like I just thought about it as I was agreeing with you that we say and that's I get that same
Feeling,
same feeling. even my mom, shout out Sister Julie, she's online as well. She actually does Gordon's Godly Giggles. So it's also a good thing once you get centered and get grounded. It's also a good thing to kind of loosen it up. And oh yeah, there we go. Much love to her. So she's putting up those hearts because she embodies
Yeah, well,
a lot of
I
love.
definitely want to get her a script because we're going to be doing some scenes with Garvey's wife, Amy Jacques Garvey, so she can definitely read from where she's at.
Yeah,
and be a part of that. So I'm casting you as Marcus Garvey's wife, Amy Jacques Garvey, and Amy Ashford Garvey, and you are definitely perfectly cast for that because you run your house and you're Queen Leo. And you will be great for the role to read because you are a Leo, and that's the Queen. And Marcus Garvey was a Leo, born on the 17th. You see that number 17. James Earl Jones born on the 17th. Michelle Obama born on the 17th. 1 and 7 is 8. I am what you call a Mayan 8 in the Mayan calendar, so I'm an 8 as well. So I can. It's 1:46. Maybe we should go ahead. Yeah, with your tongue. That was good. That was good enough. Yeah, that was good enough to warm us up. Okay, whether the weather is cold or whether the weather is hot, we'll be together whatever the weather, whether you like it or not. Again, whether the weather is cold or whether the weather is hot, we'll be together whatever the weather, whether you like it or not. Red leather, yellow leather. 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 And of course, the all-time favorite, she sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. Again, she sells seashells by the seashore. And these tongue twisters are very, very important because sometimes you can't pronounce and enunciate the words. And being seen and heard are very important in theater. Even though I'm from the rural area of North Carolina, I took time to train my voice. But I'd always had the instrument, and the instrument is your voice. I always had that, but I had to make sure that I had to lose dialects if I didn't want to use them for that particular character. All right? So it's very important that you do that. And the lip ups, as an exercise that you can do before we prepare to go into a scene, is poke your lips out, try the upper lip, try to touch your nose, and just hold it for 20 seconds, and then we'll be ready to do our scene from Garvey Studios play, The Portrait of Marcus Garvey. So let's lip up. Shake it loose. For those who have been, if you're just tuned in, you're watching the BAF Solutions Network's Garvey Theater Thursdays with the Lexicon Institute and the Garvey Studios Talent Development Workshop. The Lexicon Institute, I say that because we're going to have students here, young anger management program for our teens to help our technicians out and to work. And that's the next component that I'm adding because we got to work with our young people and with our youth in order so they can definitely gain the skills and feel a part of something. And that's what I want to make sure I'm clear about, that we're not just doing this for our Zoom members here. We're creating this whole internet broadcasting studio so we can make a difference in the lives of our future generations. And that's what Arnold's Arts LLC is all about. So the play, Portrait of Marcus Garvey, takes place in an art museum. I have Kwame here who is a curator as well, but also an actor. So he's going to be reading the stage directions and the role of Booker T. Washington. So last week we start at the top of the play. So if you'd like to see the top of this production, stage reading, go to the one we did the week before. And we're going to continue throughout the play so that way we can read the whole show and be ready for our tour for Black History Month and maybe a preview at the gallery in the holiday season. All right, so let's go.
Lighting returns to the UNIA Harlem office and the dictation of his life.
After travels through Western Europe, I returned to Jamaica in 1914 with a new purpose inspired by the American Booker T. Washington's Up from Slavery. Through this book, my doom, if I may so call it, of being a race leader dawned upon me. Upon arrival in Kingston, I immediately founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities Imperial League with the program of uniting the Negro peoples of the world into one great body to establish a country and government absolutely of our own.
A special lighting cue is given as Garvey recites another quote.
We, the duly elected representatives of the Negro peoples of the world, invoking the aid of the just and almighty God, do declare all men, women, and children of our blood throughout the world free citizens, and do claim them as free citizens of Africa, the motherland of all Negroes.
Lighting returns to Harlem office setting. Interview continues.
To raise money for my organization, I traveled to the United States in 1916. I had hoped to meet Booker T. Washington, with whom I had corresponded. But the elderly head of Tuskegee Institute died at the end of 1915.
Booker T. Washington appears on stage. Who said I was dead? Great men never die. Only the weak fade away, I tell you. Don't be looking at me like you saw a spook. Then again, I am the spook who sat by the door. That's how I got up from slavery.
Booker T. Washington?
In the flesh. Well, not so much in the flesh, but in the spirit. And don't worry, you're not going to be visited by three spooks. Mainly because you're one of us now. Just a portrait on a wall. We all become pictures on somebody's wall. Over Tuskegee. Now I'm flying in the spirit like one of them airmen, I tell you.
I always wanted to meet you, Mr. Washington. You had such an impact on my earthbound existence.
Oh, how I know. I read your letters you wrote me. I wish that you could have held on just a little longer till I got to meet you. The spirit was willing, but the flesh was saying, you out of here, I tell you. I was on my way to meet with the ancestors, which you are now a part of, but you have to tell your story first to leave a historical record for our future generations. Because if you don't, they sure will change it. History, that is. In fact, they don't even want our story to be told. I tell you, Marcus, tell your journey and how you remember it, son.
Your book inspired me. Up from slavery made me come to America to build black pride in my people.
Everything was taken, son. Our name, our culture, our self-respect. Yet we still were able to rise. What a strong people we are.
A people with one God, one aim, and one destiny.
Your journey was strong, Marcus. None of us are able to finish, Marcus, because the journey never ends. You did in life what you can do. That is all any of us can do in any lifetime. It is so liberating being free in spirit. It beats being enslaved to a body any day, I tell you. I see why some of our people jump off them slave ships. Freedom, it's worth it. Even if you have to die to get it, I tell you. Finish telling your story of yourself. It'll help calm your spirit, son. So when they see your portrait hanging on the wall, the people will see a painting of your power and your purpose, in which will help them find peace. Tell our story to correct his story. Booker T exits the stage.
And scene. Wonderful, Kwame.
You as well.
Listen, and he's one on the 28th. And so we're going to talk about what Garvey was all about through economic empowerment. And we got our sponsor is Envision You, the health and wealth company. David Emanitier is our sponsor, and I am the head of the A team. And I believe in economic empowerment for our Black Star lineup. So I want you to take a look at this and see what you think about it, and then get back to me. And because that's how you can eat and be an artist and not being a starving actor is what I don't want any of us to participate in at this time. Roll 'em.
These products that we've actually put together called Alive. And you say, well, David, why do you call the products Alive? Well, because I know there's so many people around the world that are just living. Very few people wake up every single day alive, ready to actually win the day. That's what our products are designed to do: revive, replenish, and renew the body. And it all starts with our superfood juices, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely fell in love with it the very first time I sampled it. Our manufacturers actually sent me samples, and I said, man, this is a winner. And then when they told me what was actually in the product, I knew that we had a home run. Well, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. All the ingredients here: spirulina, aloe vera, cinnamon bark extract, and ginger root, and green tea, and maca root, right? Some people call that the marriage counselor. This is an incredible product that we have in 2 different flavors: apple beach cherry along with apple cinnamon. And ladies and gentlemen, all you need to do is take a shot in the morning and take a shot in the afternoon. Now, if you really want the whole regimen that we have, you want to actually step into the world of the skin and beauty product that we have called Alive Skin and Beauty. This is a collagen product that literally impacts the body on a whole nother level when it comes to your hair growth and nail growth and helping out your joints and those bones. Your body needs collagen, but we found a way to actually make collagen taste great. Now, just a moment ago, I actually tried something that I'm going to share with you that absolutely blew me away. I tried the Skin and Beauty, the Apple Beach Cherry, and yes, our matcha. You're going to see that later on in the presentation. But ladies and gentlemen, we stepped into recently the world of coffee. And I got involved in the coffee industry years ago. And people say, well, man, you're crazy. I mean, why would you do coffee, right? And I said, well, it's 2.2 billion cups of coffee are consumed every single day. You're talking about the most traded commodity in the world next to oil, the most consumed beverage in the world next to water. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not going anywhere. Whether you're involved in the coffee business or not, people are going to spend money. They're going to spend $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 for a cup of coffee. So why not provide that demand that's already out there in the marketplace? And we found a way to actually make it healthy. This is by far, in my opinion, you may say I'm biased, the healthiest, best tasting coffee on the planet. This is the Alive Cappuccino, ladies and gentlemen. You're talking about a non-GMO, gluten-free, no sugar, no nut, no soy whatsoever in this particular product right here. I am so in love with this coffee. The first time I tried it, I knew that this was going to be the winner in our company. And look what's in it. You're talking about a premium Arabica bean coffee. You're talking about pomegranate and collagen tripeptides and dipeptides, and it's got okra in it. It's got asparagus in it, ladies and gentlemen. It's got pumpkin in it. It's got amino acids in this particular product. You say, well, how did you get 30 different vitamins and minerals all in one product? That's a secret. That's our own formula for us to know. And it's available right now in our company. And recently, we just introduced the ultimate green tea, which is the matcha. And it's one of the best tasting matchas out there in the world. You can drink it hot, you can drink it cold. I just drank it with our apple beach cherry and our apple cinnamon. Absolutely incredible. Look at all the ingredients that are in here. It's helped people when it comes to their weight loss journey, giving them energy, clarity, focus. It's a remarkable product that we put together. Now, if you're paying attention, we put health in what people do every single day. People drink coffee every day. People drink some sort of juice, or their kids do every single day. And guess what? People drink tea every single day. So why not do it with Envision You and actually have your body become even more healthy while drinking what you were going to drink anyway? See, what we've put together here is really second to none. Your health and your wealth right here in one company, and then you can travel around the world.
Thank you, everybody. That's
We got
Garvey Theater
determination.
Thursdays. Garvey Studios Talent Development Workshop. See you next time. See you next week. Thank you, Kwame. Power to them. Peace and power. We're going to work it, make it happen. Make sure you go on the NEC website and become a part of the Negro Ensemble Company and learn your theater history, Black theater history. See you next time.